learners and viewers. I, Dr. Gitika S. Johri, faculty at School of Vocational Education and Training, welcome you all to another interesting session. Learners, you know that we have been discussing the course on secretarial practice, which is also the part of the program on Diploma in Modern Office Practice. Our today's session is again a continuation to our previous session, wherein we have been discussing the unit on sources of information, part 1 and part 2. Let us have a look of what we have covered so far in this unit. Now, if you see, we have divided the entire unit sources of information in two parts. In part 1, we have covered human beings as a source of information. We have covered reference material, which is another source of information. In reference material, we have discussed about dictionary, thesaurus, encyclopedia, and directories. We have also discussed timetable, which includes your railways, air, and roadways as a reference material. Then we have also discussed about tourist information guides. In part 2 of the session, we have discussed the other two remaining references books, which are ready reckoners and office manuals. Apart from that, in part 2, we have also discussed about media, which is the last source of information, wherein we have covered the traditional form of media, which includes publications. Therein we have discussed about books, magazines, periodicals, and of course newspapers. In our today's session, that is part 2B, which is continuation of part 2, we will be discussing the electronic form of media, that is audio-video broadcasting through TV, radio, and internet. We will also talk about the government reports and notifications as another source of information, and we will also take up right to information, a tool to get information from public authorities. So learners, let's begin with the electronic form of media, that is audio-video broadcasting through TV, radio, and internet. Let us understand what is broadcasting. Providing information to a large audience through audio-video programs distributed over different frequency bands regulated by communication authorities, that is example radio and television program, is termed as broadcasting. Important information and messages are spread amongst people through broadcasting, that can be in the form of address by the Prime Minister or the President to the nations. Then there can be election campaigning, there can be polio day messages, there can be anti-dowry campaigns, there can be usage of CFL bulbs for saving electricity, water conservation messages, and nowadays a lot of messages about COVID or pandemic. Initially, learners, broadcasting was done in public meetings by using loudspeakers. Then came radio, which was used as a tool to broadcast. Then there was television usage, which also became one of the modes of broadcasting. But in the recent years, broadcasting has been started on internet as well, for which the term webcasting is used. Now learners, let us understand internet. We are all aware about internet. It is the most interactive medium of mass media. The term net or the web are also used for internet. It is the worldwide network of interconnected computer networks through which publicly accessible data is transmitted by using standard internet protocol. It is important to understand that internet and world wide web, that is WWW, are not synonyms. Internet is the result of several major computer networks connected into one all-encompassing network, which is linked by copper wires, fiber optic cables, wireless connections, etc. The World Wide Web is the content in the form of web pages or the interconnected documents linked by hyperlinks and URLs. The internet has become center of attraction in mass media. Every kind of information is becoming available via internet. People, they prefer logging into internet to get the latest news they want at a comfortable time instead of waiting for the newspaper or listening to the news bulletin at radio or TV. Information regarding all spheres of knowledge which is available on internet, be it related to education or it can be sport, it can be politics, national, international, everything is available on the internet. Now, how does one get an information through internet? Let us understand. Learners, internet functions through browsers. Browsers are the software programs through which one travels from page to page and site to site while surfing internet. All the information on the internet is written in web language, that is hypertext markup language, also called as HTML, or extensible markup language, which is called as XML, etc. A browser interprets all the information and data contained in the domain of a site and puts it on the computer screen for the internet users in the form which can be understood by normal people. We are not familiar with this technical language, so with the help of the browser, what it does, as we mentioned, that it interprets all the information and data which is contained in the domain of the site and puts it on the computer screen for the benefit of all the users, including people like us. The browsers are usually available in all the computers, but for the sake of knowledge, you should understand that web browsers are now available in various forms. What are the latest forms of web browsers? They include Google Chrome and others like Opera, Mozilla Firefox, Safari, etc. They are free and downloadable from internet by following a set sequence of activities. Example, to download Google Chrome, you should visit the Internet Explorer by clicking the given Internet Explorer icon. Type www.google.com in the address bar and click enter. Then go for the option of free downloading of the Google Chrome. Follow the step-by-step instruction and it will download you on your computer. You can start using your browser by clicking on the appropriate icon on the desktop or in the program file menu. The browser loads the designated home page. At the home page of the screen, menu bar is displayed. Usually all the browsers have similar features. You can have an idea about some of the features from the following paragraphs. Now learners, let us understand what do we mean by search engines. They are all connected to internet, so we need to familiarize ourselves with all these terms. A search engine works in concurrence with the web browser. It links you to the world of complete database available on the search engine on a worldwide basis. It allows you to search any information by entering a word, title or phrase in the space allocated for search. The search engine then produces a list of matching pages available. Each of these matches has a link and a short description. You can follow the link to go to the appropriate site. There are many search engines you can choose according to your requirement and preference. So the major engines are Sifi, Google, Yahoo, Bing, etc. Now another terminology which we should be aware of is the URL. URL stands for Uniform Resource Location. It tells the distinct address for each resource on the internet. A typical example of URL is http://www.khoj.com. Another thing which we need to know is the web page. The data available on the website is stored in web pages. The top level or the very first page of a website that gets open on visiting a particular website is called its home page, through which you can link to other pages containing information in various dimensions. Information provided on a web page may be saved on your computer if it is allowed by the information provider. For example, when we are talking about our IGNOU website, which is ignou.ac.in, if you click onto that site, the home page will appear, and in that home page all the relevant information related to the university, related to students, any kind of announcements, any kind of alerts, any important information which has to be given, it is all reflected on the home page. Whether it is related to your examination or whether it is related to admission, it all appears on the home page. So how can this be done? We have to follow a certain sequence which is given as under. Select the information you want to save. Copy the information by clicking on edit and then copy icons. Minimize the website. Open the appropriate document you want to save in the information. Paste the information by clicking on paste icon, or you can simply command complete web page by clicking on save as option from file from the menu bar. Now learners, after having learned about electronic form of media, Let us now understand the government reports and notifications, which again are a source of information. Basically, our entire unit or topic is about sources of information. We have already discussed human beings, we have discussed about reference material, we have talked about media. Now we need to know about the government reports and notifications. How do they act as a source of information? Learners, the government policies, rules and regulations, they are very important to be followed by any business organization for its survival and growth. Therefore, it is important to know about the various amendments which are made by the Government of India in its practices on regular basis and on time to time. Now, for this purpose, one should be aware about the government information which can be received through government publications. Now, government makes publications at any of the following levels. So, because when we are talking about the government, we have different levels in the government. When we talk about central government publications, then we are talking about it at the national level. When we are talking about the state government publications, then we are talking about it at the state level. And if we talk about it at the local government publication level, then we talk about it at a local level. Besides that, if we see the modern age of globalization, a successful business organization cannot ignore the significance of foreign government level information as well as international or inter-government organization publications. So they fall under the category of international level. Now, learners, the vast amount of information which is generated by the Government of India through its enormous organizations at various central, state and local levels in the forms of ministries, departments, divisions can be accessed in the form of various information documents. So there are various information documents through which we can access all these informations. We have tried to discuss some of the major types of information documents which are summarized as below. First is the administrative reports. The annual or periodical reports generated by the various government departments containing their accomplishments of the preceding year and their proposed plans for the upcoming years are all presented for use of public in the form of administrative reports. Then we need to know about budget documents. One of the most significant financial documents that provides information about the previous year's budget estimates, including proposals in the form of revised estimates of revenue and expenditure and the actual figures in these areas, is the budget document. Then we should know the census publications. What is a census publication? In India, it is the largest single source of data with respect to the Indian citizens, the demographical trends and the population pattern in the country. So any information related to the census, the number of people which are residing in India, their demographical information, all is given in the census publication. Then we need to know about the commission and committee reports. You know, commission and committees, they are a regular feature of any democratic government machinery. They are appointed by different ministries and departments of Government of India in addition to the statutory commissions and standing committees of the Parliament. Now, their reports are brought out on all the issues for which they are appointed, and their expert opinion has been sought on various problems and issues. So that is why, you know, a lot of committees and commissions are set up, and the reports related to many areas have been, you know, produced through all these committees and commissions. Then comes government notifications. Office memorandum, gazette notifications, circulars and notices, etc. for specific groups or general public come into this category. Nowadays, you know, we can see that a lot of notification, lot of circulars related to pandemic are issued by the government from time to time. Then another kind of source of information of the government department comes from plan documents. Plan documents, they talk about the 5-year plan as well as the annual plan, the progress reports, the midterm reports and studies on various aspects on planning which are presented by the Planning Commission of India. These documents provide accurate information about the government strategy on the road of development. Then, you know, through research reports also, you know, we can have an idea about the successful working in different areas. You know, Government of India sponsors research on broad range of topics. So through these research reports, you know, we can also have a source, they can act as a source of information. Then the records, National Archives of India. The government records are also important information sources Records of Government of India are retained and they are preserved as per the Government of India Records Management Policy in the National Archives of India. So you can visit the National Archives of India and access any kind of reports or records which are preserved as desired by the Government of India Management Policy. Further, learners, there are a large number of judicial and legislative sources of information in the form of legal documents. These, of course, would include the bills, your acts, laws, codes. Then there are law report digest, there are rules and regulations, there are publications of parliament such as parliament debates of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and reports of various parliament committees. All these documents are very significant sources of information. Now, when we talk about the present age of information technology, all these documents of information may be accessed even through internet. The Government of India's national portal is NIC, that is National Information Center, which is single window information providing site of Government of India. Moreover, the government department which issues the particular information displays the same at its site for the knowledge of public or users. Apart from these documents, they can be also accessed through traditional means as well. For that purpose, one may need to visit the office issuing these documents and can purchase the required publication if it is paid, or maybe request for a complimentary copy if allowed. In case it is issued for free, then one may get a copy of by simply visiting the request and requesting that department or office, or one may get the said information by post also. Now, learners, we have discussed the different kinds of sources of information, but there is another way how we can get a kind of a source of information, which is Right to Information Act in India. This is a very important topic which we need to know. So let us discuss this Right to Information Act in India. The right to information has been implicitly guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. However, to overcome the practical difficulties in getting the information from various sectors, the Indian Parliament enacted the Right to Information Act 2005 and has provided a powerful tool to the citizens to get information from the government as a matter of right. As an office worker, you may require information from the government departments in order to facilitate business operations in your organization. Therefore, a basic knowledge of right to information is being given here. A citizen of India has a right to seek such information from public authority which is held by the public authority or which is held under its control. This right includes inspection of work, documents and records, taking notes, extracts or certified copies of documents or records, and taking certified samples of material which are held by the public authority or held under the control of the public authority. It is important to note that only such information can be supplied under the Act which already exists and is held by public authority or held under the control of the public authority. The Public Information Officer is not supposed to create information or to interpret information or to solve the problem raised by the applicants or to furnish replies to hypothetical questions. A citizen has a right to obtain information from a public authority in the form of diskettes, floppies, tapes, video cassettes, or in any other electronic form or through printouts, provided such information is already stored in the computer or in any other device from which the information may be emailed or even transferred to the diskettes. Now, the information to the applicant should ordinarily be provided in the form in which it is sought. However, if the supply of information sought in a particular form would disproportionately divert the resources of the public authority or may cause harm to the safety or preservation of the records, supply of information in that form may be denied. A person who desires to seek information from a public authority is required to apply providing his name and complete postal address along with a demand draft or a banker's check or an Indian postal order of ₹10 payable to the accounts officer of the public authority as fee prescribed for seeking information. The payment of fee can also be made by way of cash to the accounts officer of the public authority or to the assistant public information against proper receipt. The applicant may also be required to pay further fee towards the cost of providing the information details of which shall be intimated to the applicant by the PIO as prescribed by the Right to Information Rules 2005. The rates of fee as prescribed in the rules are given as under: rupees 2 for each page, that is, it can be in A4 or A3 size paper, created or copied. Then actual charge or cost price of a copy in a large size paper. Actual cost or price for samples or models. For information provided in deskety or floppy, rupees 50 per deskety or floppy. For information provided in printed form, at the price fixed for such publication, or rupees 2 per page of photocopy for extracts from the publication. Now, learners have already pointed out, a citizen has a right to inspect the records of public authority. For inspection of records, the public authority shall charge no fee for the first hour, but a fee of rupees 5 will be charged for each subsequent hour. But if the applicant belongs to the below poverty line, that is BPL category, he is not required to pay any fee, but however he should submit a proof in the support of his claim that he belongs to the BPL category. Now learners, we need to know certain important and key terms. When we're talking about this act, we need to know information. So information is any material in any form. It includes records, documents, memos, emails, opinions, advices, press release, circulars, orders, logbooks, contracts, reports, papers, samples, models, data material held in any electronic form. It also includes information relating to any private body which can be accessed by public authority under any law for the time being in force. Then we need to know about another terminology which we need to know is public authority. What is public authority? It is an authority or body or constitution which is owned, controlled or substantially financed by the central government or state government, and non-government organizations substantially financed by central government or state government. Now the next key term which we need to know is the Public Information Officer or the PIO. He is the officer so designated by a public authority who is responsible to give information to a person who seeks information under the RTI Act. Then there is Assistant Public Information Officer. He is the person to whom a person can give his RTI application or appeal. An Assistant Public Information Officer is not responsible to supply the information, but they send the application or appeal to the Public Information Officer of the public authority or the concerned appellate authority. The Assistant Public Information Officer appointed by the Department of Posts in various post offices are working as Assistant Public Information Officers for all the public authorities under the Government of India. Then the time period for supply of information. This is very important, learners. Now in normal course, information to an applicant shall be supplied within 30 days from the receipt of application by the public authority. If information sought concerns the life or liberty of a person, it shall be supplied within 48 hours. In case the application is sent through the Assistant Public Information Officer or it is sent to a wrong public authority, 5 days shall be added to the period of 30 days or 48 hours as the case may be. Appeals. If an applicant is not supplied information within the prescribed time of 30 days or 48 hours as the case may be, or is not satisfied with the information furnished to him, he may prefer an appeal to the first appellate authority, who is an officer senior in the rank to the Public Information Officer. Such an appeal should be filed within a period of 30 days from the date on which the limit of 30 days of supply of information is expired, or from the date on which the information or decision of the Public Information Officer is received. The appellate authority of the public authority shall dispose of the appeal within a period of 30 days or in exceptional cases within 45 days of the receipt of the appeal. If the first appellate authority fails to pass an order on the appeal within the prescribed period, or if the appellant is not satisfied with the order of the first appellate authority, he may prefer a second appeal with the Central Information Commission within 90 days from the date on which the decision should have been made by the first appellate authority or was actually received by the appellant. So learners, to sum up and to wind up this session, we can say that right type of information is very important for any organization at the right time with the right person. But everyone may not know all the information, nor can one remember all the data and information. So it is important that one is aware about the various sources of information from where one can get them from at the time of need. So if we sum up, we can say that in this entire unit on sources of information, we have discussed that humans are the easiest source of information. One may get a simple piece of information from the next cabin colleague, but in modern times, one may need many complex pieces of information at the same time. For this purpose, one may take the help of reference material or media or internet or government publications, or as a last resort, one may seek information by applying under the Right to Information Act. So I hope learners, you have found both these sessions very useful. In case you have any doubts, you may please write to us on the following email ID, which is gitika johri@ignou.ac.in. Thank you all.